Hi. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this particular um, cartoon. It actually sparked a few other cartoons, and it's from Hanna-Barbera. It's uh, the Jetsons meet the Flintstones. You can expect that it's a time travel story. I'm not going to get too deep into the story. Pretty much what happens is something happens in Jetson's timeline. Same kind of thing happens in Flintstones timeline, and then they cross. And of course, it starts with the Jetsons because Elroy is making a time machine. Oh, I loved this cartoon. I loved it. And when it was when all the commercials were going, because at first I thought that this was one that was in the theater. There were a lot of TV movies being pumped out in the 80s. More than I thought. But I thought that this was one in the theater. It's not. It was one made for TV movie. And what's funny is a lot of these made for TV movies um, got posters. And I remember the posters being in like the video store and in the department store and like Fred Meyer or Kroger, and it would be in the music department or in the department that would have music and movies and that sort of thing. So I remember all that. Seeing these posters for these movies that are going to be out. And I also remember the posters for when the VHS was going to be released. And I would tell my mom, Mom, we need to buy the really. Oh, I remember when VHS were pretty expensive. And now you go to these collection shops and they're like $1. It's like, oh, yeah. So this has Mel Blanc as one of the voices. Now, the funny thing about this is there is music in it. Probably 2 or 3 songs. And because Judy, you have a teenager in it, so there's a part in it where they're in Bedrock and she ends up at a concert and she meets up with this teen idol from Bedrock and so and and of course because she's met up with this fella, she doesn't want to leave. So they have that conflict. Oh, I tried finding it on YouTube and I couldn't find it. I was like, oh, sad face. It's probably somewhere on the internet. Because, it has to be somewhere. So I'm sure I can find it somewhere. But YouTube doesn't have it. There's like preview clips. It has like 3-minute clips of people's favorite parts of the movie. And so yeah, Mel Blanc he's Barney Rubble, Dino, and Mr. Spacely. And again, this was in 1987. I don't think I said that, but yeah. Oh, I loved this movie so much. Once it was released to VHS, I can remember we'd go into this one particular video store, and once I saw it, I was like, oh, we have to rent that one. And my mom's like, okay. And then it was like the next time we'd go in, we gotta rent it. We just rented it. Oh, you always see those memes where they talk about, I have to listen to this song over and over until I destroy my like for it. That was me with this. It's just a fun time travel movie. You know, you have the prehistoric with futuristic, and it was so much fun. And while I was looking it up, actually, I was starting to remember. Well, it was also showing me some other things, but I was also remembering because of the whole thing with Judy and the teen idol music icon, or whatever you want to call it. Because I was getting it crossed with something else, and there was a TV series. It didn't run for very long, but there was a TV series where Pebbles and Bam Bam are grown up. And if I remember right, in the series they are married. So it goes along with them married, or they date and then get married and that sort of thing. And I watched it. I thought it was fun. Finally they're all grown up and they're married and everything. And if I remember right, I saw it in Target and didn't really think anything of it. So I believe that series is on DVD. So, but the other thing is, there was a series. They always wanted to make these kinds of shows kids. You know, like Scooby-Doo, they had a pup named Scooby-Doo, which was terrible. Oh my gosh, it was awful. Now, I like Scooby-Doo, and as a kid I liked Scooby-Doo, as a teenager I liked Scooby-Doo, everybody liked Scooby-Doo. The movies were okay. I didn't mind the movies. I think they're overkilling on some of these crossovers that they're doing now. It's like, I don't know why they need to do that, but that's just me. I prefer the classic Scooby-Doo. So, but anyway, don't even bother with pup named Scooby-Doo. I know you're like, but you mention it, now you're telling us. Trust me. I watched a couple episodes and it just lost my interest. It was just awful. It's almost like everyone dislikes Scrappy-Doo, right? And it was almost like they tried to make Scrappy-Doo nice. Because it is Scooby-Doo as a puppy, but you still get that element of Scrappy-Doo. It's like, I just can't watch it. It just wasn't registering. Well, they made Wilma and Betty and Fred and Barney kids. So there was a TV series, and I don't remember how long that lasted. They made them kids. It was okay. I mean, like I said, they did a whole bunch of these. Well, in the 90s they had the Tiny Toon Adventures, where they decided to make their own kid. And then they just had Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck mingling with these kids. Made more sense. But in the 80s they were making them kids. It seems like they made the Looney, Chuck Jones was still alive, so he was kind of jumping on that train a little bit. Anyway, so yeah, there was that cartoon series of children in Bedrock. I don't think they did it for Jetsons, but anyway. A year after this one was released, what's funny to me, I kind of remember this one because when I was looking this one up, I kind of remember this one. Rockin' with Judy Jetson. And when you read the premises of it, she goes to this concert. She's back in the future, and she's all about rock music and everything. So it's like kind of like Gem and the Rockettes, right? She's all rocked out, and she's at this and she's all about this one rock star, right? And she wrote a song for him. But there's like this villain who wants to end music and get rid of music forever. So it's like Gem and the Rockettes, or Gem and the Holograms, I mean. Gem and the Holograms meets Footloose. Remember in Footloose where music and dancing was forbidden? Yeah, banish music forever. I kind of remember that one. It didn't have the same impact as Jetsons meets the Flintstones. Because everyone likes time travel. And this actually was 2 years after Back to the Future, so everyone was on this time travel kick, right? And everyone wanted to do the time travel kick, and this was no different. There were a lot of time travel things. I mean, I can remember a lot of the time travel things. Just like the eco-friendly stuff I talk about, yeah, after Back to the Future, there were quite a few time travel. And so this one was just perfect, really. There was a video game called Flintstones and Jetsons Time Warp. But it was released in Europe. It looks like it was never released here. A time machine warps Fred Flintstone into the future and George Jetson into the past. So that would explain why I never heard of it before, because it never came here. This has been released to DVD. But it looks like it was part of like a collection, their Hanna-Barbera Classics collection. So that explains a little bit. It has been referenced in a couple, if you're a big Simpsons fan, it was in the episode A Star is Burns, and Bart is actually watching the cartoon. And then, I don't know if anyone would know Mighty Mouse, The New Adventures. It makes reference to this cartoon. Yeah, Mighty Mouse is one of those where you never know who knows it anymore. I have an uncle who really likes Mighty Mouse. So anyway, it's just one of those. I absolutely loved it. I gotta find it to watch it. Oh my gosh. I haven't seen it since like middle school. When the video stores went down, and actually the last one went down, I think my brother said last year. So all of them are gone now. But when like Hollywood Video and Blockbuster went down, I went all over. I was trying to look for stuff, and that was one of them that I was looking for. I was like, please tell me you have it. And the workers are like, oh no, these people took it. I'm like, no. And the one person was like, but we have this. And we have this. No, it's not this. But anyway, this is just, it's a super fun time travel show with Jetsons and Flintstones. Mel Blanc is in it. Mel Blanc passed away, and I had to look it up, in 1989. So this is one of his last films that he appears in, that he voiced. So, yeah. Oh, Janet Waldo, she is the voice of Judy. So, because in the movie of the Jetsons, Tiffany was the voice. So, Janet Waldo, she passed away in 2016. I remember that. So, a lot of the original actors for Jetsons and are in this. Anyway, so if you're a fan of the classic Hanna-Barbera or grew up with Hanna-Barbera, Flintstones, and Jetsons, this is one to check out. Oh, I loved it so much. I am going to search for it like you wouldn't believe. I, I absolutely loved it. Anyway, so yeah, this was released in 1987. Jetsons meets the Flintstones. Also, try and find that TV series where Pebbles and Bam Bam are grown up. I am 95% sure I saw it on the shelves at Target. So, and then of course the TV series where Fred and Wilma are kids. So, but anyway, yeah.